All right, how you guys doing today? Look like y'all all excited. I used to be in y'all shoes a long time ago, doing a similar program. What I want to do when I was that age was try to be a social worker. And I did like a job shadow and find out that was not what I wanted to do because I seen all the paperwork that they had to do. And when I went to school, I was kind of like a PE student, so I didn't do all the paperwork. My name is Kedrick Bowen. I'm the founder of Fanatics 101. We have two locations, like I said. We have one in the Johnson City Mall. We've been there for going on 17 years. We also have a location inside the Asheville Mall. We was there for 10 years. We're in the process of transitioning from the Asheville Mall to the Asheville outlets. What we sell at Fanatics 101, we carry NBA, NFL, NCAA, hockey, a little bit of NASCAR, some UFC, different things like that. Just licensed products. We got jerseys, hats, T-shirts, lanyards, memorabilia. So if a person come in and they got $3 or they got $300, we can always try to find them something in that range. I'll tell you guys a little bit about my story as I was growing up in North Carolina. I'm originally from a town called Washington, North Carolina. It's on the coast of North Carolina. When I was in high school, I was kind of like I was all state in football and all state in track. I won the state championship my junior year. My football team was pretty decent. Also, my senior year, I was ranked top 10 in the nation for the high jump. Still hold the record for high jump and for the 400 meters. Um, Played football, so I really loved that. Going to my senior year, I didn't focus on school as much as I should. I ended up having a kid. I was a teen parent. Had a kid early on while I was in high school. After I graduated from high school, I went directly to working in a factory, which is not what I wanted to do. But sometime in life, you have to find out what you don't want to do before you find out what you really want to do in life. I worked there for approximately a year. My mother worked at a factory. Most everybody in my family worked in the same local factory. I remember one day going to my mom and saying, "Man, this is not what I want to do with my life." And I'm like, I really appreciate the whole work that you did because you never know what your parents sacrifice until you kind of get into their shoes. And when I got into her shoes, I was like, man, if you work this hard to help take care of me, and my brother, I really do appreciate it. And I finally got the opportunity to play football in California. I've been to a college, it was a JUCO college. When I went to California, it was kind of like a rebirth for me because it kind of gave me a second chance at playing football. I played there for 2 years. We had a great time. We was on some good teams. I ended up getting a scholarship to play. I was either going to somewhere in Utah because got like Boise State, BYU, different schools like that area. Um, Also, or Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, Tennessee Tech, or Tuscaloosa. I never heard of Tuscaloosa, but the coach sold me a really good dream. He was like, "Hey man, we was in the mountains, and I want to get closer back to be closer to my kid." And they offered me a full ride for academics and football, and I took it and came. It was a little bit different coming from the coast of North Carolina to Southern California, coming to Greenville, Tennessee. When I got there, I was like, "What in the world do we do here?" But I eventually adapted, and I'm still living in East Tennessee. So it was a great place for me. The key I tell you guys, no matter where you go, is make the best of it. I mean, you control your destiny, no matter where it is. It can be a great place. It can be a bad place. It's all about how you create it. Went to Tusculum. I ended up graduating in 2003 with a sports management degree. I was back in the same boat after I graduated. From there, I couldn't find a job. I was applying jobs everywhere. So paid not free to pay. I was applying jobs everywhere. I really wanted to try to get a job in somebody front office or be a agent. But it was like if you want to be a school agent, you got to go back to school. Again, I did not want to go back to school after completing that. So eventually, all the jobs I tried to get, they cut me down for experience. But you don't have enough experience. And I'm sitting here going like, I went to school, I got my degree. I'm gonna get experience if you're not gonna give me an opportunity. Um, so what I did, I went home. We had a graduation party for me. I got some money for graduating. Everybody know how that works, so you get some money. And I remember going to this flea market, and I loved the vibe of everybody going out there just selling stuff. I'm like, man, I can sell stuff. So I bought some stuff, at that flea market. Came back to Greenville, where I was living at the time, and started selling stuff to my friends. And eventually, I went to Atlanta. I took $300 of my graduation money, went to Atlanta, bought some products, and started selling them. And I started doing it, selling clothes out of the trunk of my car for a while. And I really enjoyed it. I went to the Johnson City Mall, asked them if I could start selling clothes there. Of course, they're laughing at me. I'm a young minority kid coming there with a bag of clothes, saying my business plan is I sell clothes out of the trunk of my car. But eventually, I went back there 5 times, and I was bugging them like, "Hey man, just give me opportunities, give me opportunity." Eventually, they gave me an opportunity to set up a kiosk, and I just fell in love with it. Really, I wanted to do it just to get some kind of experience, so I can add experience onto my resume. But eventually, I just fell in love with doing that and just worked my way up. The store that we had, I call it KD Urban Wear because we were selling urban clothes. I always joke with people. I'm like, man, if I can sell urban clothes in East Tennessee, I think I can sell pretty much anything. And we went from selling the urban clothes with one kiosk to having another kiosk selling sports. And eventually, I just went to all sports. So I did the urban wear for like 2 years, then changed the name to Fanatics 101, and so doing pretty much all sports stuff from there. Like I said, education-wise, I went to Ventura College, got a liberal arts degree. Tuskegee College, got a sports management degree. High school in North Carolina. Um, when I got started, it was definitely hard, but you just got to have a dream and you got to have a vision of what you want to do. I knew when I went to school, I wanted to be an athlete or I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Eventually, like I said, I was a decent athlete, but I got hurt when I was in college at Tustin. I ruptured my Achilles tendon. You know anything about that? Once you hurt yourself, it's pretty much you're done. You're not going to be an athlete. But the business was something that I really fell in love with. And it's good because you can meet so many people. But one of the things that I always had to tell myself as an entrepreneur, you're always looking for different ideas, but you have to focus on what your goal. And God give everybody a vision that they want, what they want to do for their life. It's not something that your parents might see, your teachers, your friend might not see because God gave you the vision. So you don't have to listen to what everybody say. You have to trust your heart and just stay humble and stay focused on what you want to do. So whatever you want to be in life, just focus on that goal and do everything you can to try to do it. Another advice I give you is when I started, before I went to Johnson City to get the kiosk, I used to drive up there from Greenville every day just to talk to different people about what they do that was on a kiosk. How you start your business, what's some tips you can get. I just picked everybody's brain. So whatever field you're in, try to learn, get around other people that's in that field and pick their brain so that you don't have to go through the same process. Because we always make the same mistakes. But if you can go to somebody that's more mature, got a little bit of experience, it'll definitely help you out a whole lot in what you're doing. One of the things I did was I had something like this that I wrote down on a book, and what it says is maintain your focus. My focus was to start my business, Fanatics 101, and grow it as long as I possibly can. Most people in business, they usually don't last 5 years. Most business don't make it 5 years. Some business struggle to make it 1 year. And that was before we had the pandemic. Now it's even harder for business to start and stop. But one of the things you have to do, if you got that dream in your heart, is you just got to keep pushing, keep going, and trusting in what you do. It's somebody always going to be there to be on your side. You're going to have a lot of people that's going to be against you, but you're always going to have somebody that's going to be in your corner and that's going to help you out and survive. You don't know who they look like, what they're going to be, but it's always somebody that's going to be there to help you. And just focus on what you're going to do. One of the things I try to do is I do a vision board, and I write down my goals. Like, okay, in the next year, I want to be here. And you got to make them down real small. So you can't just say, hey, I want to be a millionaire one day. So how you going to be a millionaire? I mean, before you be a millionaire, you got to be a hundredaire, then a thousandaire, and so forth and so on. So just write down your goals so that you can see where you want to be, and just visualize yourself. It don't mean you're going to get it. And some people think it's funny and corny, but it ain't funny and corny in 15 years and 20 years, and you're still doing it, and they're not. So you just have to focus on what you're doing. And don't focus on what your other friends are doing. You have to run your race. It's your race that you run. Nobody know your story. So do your best, stay in your lane, do what you know to right, and you'll be okay. You can't worry about everybody else. Even if your friend got a new car, got a house, whatever the case may be, focus on your goal so that when you're 40 and 50, you'll set yourself up in a better better situation. So just maintain the focus. One of the things I always tell people is be humble and be humble. But don't be scared to succeed. Some people they scared to succeed. Don't be scared. I mean, you're gonna have failures in life. You're gonna have failures in things you do. It's about how many times you get up. You can get knocked down sometime, but it's all about getting up and keep fighting. And just remember, God gave you the vision. It's your glasses that you put on. You don't have to show it to anybody else. So let's focus on what you're doing. One of the things I love about our job is, as a business owner, is I do a lot of volunteer work as well to try to help other people out as much as I can. And I think whatever community you're in, you should try to make your community the best it possibly be. You can impact so many different people's lives just by going out and working hard. So for me, I've been on boards, FCA board, CASA board. There's two boards I'm on right now, also with the Chamber of Commerce board. So I try to find a good balance of going out, meeting as many people I can, but try to make the area that I'm in a better place. You can't change the whole world, but you can change your neighborhood, your church, and the place that you are. You can make that a better place. And eventually you will inspire other people. If you bring positive energy, other people will come around and ask you, man, what you doing? I'm trying to win the day and trying to make the world a better place. It might sound cliche, but if you keep doing it, you're going to impact a lot of people's life. And I think all you guys got the ability to impact a lot of people's life. In business, I never really try to go out and get awards. I just try to go out there and do my best. But we have been recognized with a lot of different awards. And I'm grateful for that. I guess the competitive side of me is I'm always want to go out and try to win. But winning to me is doing my personal best. Only I know if I'm giving my best. You know what I mean? So I just try to go out there and give it my best and work hard as I possibly can. Okay, a typical day in the life of an entrepreneur. Checking a lot of emails. We go through a lot of emails. You go into the bank, placing orders, checking inventory, putting in inventory, calling customers, marketing their business on Facebook, so all the different social medias that we're trying to do, making schedules, cleaning stores, and always trying to sell. One of the things I love doing is I love selling to people. And it's just all about a relationship. People, when you sell to people, they tell you everything they're going to hear. You know what I mean? They done gave you the answer, the blueprint. So you just feed it back to them what they just said. So it's kind of like you kind of are playing on somebody's emotion, but you're just telling them what they have. But at the end of the day, I don't force you to buy anything. I'm just a resource. So I make them feel comfortable. Then I try to sell them on what they have. And people always will tell you what they want. You just got to find what you need. And in business, entrepreneurs are like, okay, what really is entrepreneur? Entrepreneur is just solving problems. So you can be in your area. So for me, when I started, I was in Greenwood, Tennessee. I knew that it wasn't a lot of people that had urban clothes. So I love urban clothes. So I'm like, I can sell to somebody else. So eventually I started. Then when I go to Johnson City, I see a lot of people wearing Tennessee stuff or wearing different sports stuff. I'm like, man, you can't really go nowhere and find other teams unless you just like Tennessee. You know what I mean? I'm like, I like Tennessee, but I also like other teams. And I know a lot of people over here like other teams as well. So I found that need to fill that gap. So entrepreneurs just find a need. You know what I mean? Find a solution to solving problems. So if you can solve somebody's problem, people will pay you a lot of money to solve problems. So that's basically what entrepreneur is. Work environment, I love having fun for both my team and my staff. I want to make it fun, high energy. I want you to do your job. I'm going to hold you accountable, but at the end of the day, I want to be fun. You know what I mean? When you clock in, I want you to clock in and say, man, this is my fun time. Whatever you got going on in the world, we'll be there. When you stop, when you come in, just do everything you can just to have as much fun as you possibly can. Because people like seeing you. Nobody want to walk into a store and see you looking mad, looking sad, because ain't nothing they can do about it. You know, unless you want to hug. Right now, you can't really hug people. So, I mean, just smile. I mean, ain't nothing you can do about it. You know, it is what it is. You can't unstring my legs. So, just do what you can to make it the best. One of the stories about our job that I really, really love, you never know the impact that you have on somebody. This lady came into my store one day and she was looking for a banner. And I'm always bubbly and like having fun. Hey, what you looking for? She was like, I need a Alabama banner. I was like, oh man, we got one right here. And then she goes to tell me that her son just passed away. And at this point, I feel real bad. Like, oh, I didn't know that the son was passed away. I'm really sorry about that. And she's still crying. And she was like, this is my son's favorite store. He loved coming here. Some of my favorite memories with my son is taking him to the store. And I'm sitting there about to come to tears as well because I'm like, you never know the impact that you have on somebody's life just by talking to them, just by being somebody free. I don't know, the guy wasn't my best friend or anything, but I was just friendly to him, and he just love our store. So we have that impact. So those are the stories, and we got tons of stories like that. Just being friendly and just trying to help everybody out is what I want my goal to be. And that's what I try to tell my staff to be. You never know what somebody's going through. So be that friend to them, and a friend that you would want somebody to be to you or to someone that you love and care about. And I feel some of the skills that you will need to be an entrepreneur, to be successful in business is you have to have time management. I mean, I have this little notebook that I write down every day. Okay, hey, this time I'm gonna be doing this and do this and do that. Because if I don't write down what I'm gonna do before that day, before I know it, it's 4 o'clock. I haven't got anything done because I've been on my phone. Which everybody, we always on our phone, but we don't waste it. 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours being on our phone when we could have been a lot productive. So time management is a key. Strategic thinking. You got to be able to think and figure out different things. Because sometimes your plan that you go in with, your game plan, it get blown up. So you got to be able to adapt to and make another plan up. So you got to be a strategic thinking. You got to be efficient. You got to definitely manage your time, be effective. You got to be able to communicate. You're going to have people that's going to come in that's going to be really, really upset. Sitting in workout, they broke up with their boyfriend, they want to return this, whatever the case may be. But you got to be able to way to put them at ease that you can talk to them. Because if you can't communicate with somebody when you fight on the fire, you usually going to lose the situation. Sometimes when they come to me, it's not me. They got other situations going on. They come to me, I'm just the person they feel comfortable telling all their bad stuff to. So they're mad at me because they can't stand up to the person that's abusing them. But they can stand up to me because they don't know me. So I understand it's not a personal thing. I mean, as long as they don't go too far. Now, I'll listen to you, but you can't cuss me and do all the other stuff. As long as you respect me, I'm going to respect you and listen to what you got to say. You got to be able to network. In business, if you're scared to talk with someone, it's business definitely not going to be for you unless you got somebody that you partner with that can really go out there and sell. But you got to be able to go network. You got to be able to go to chamber events, business events, and I just call it, just be friendly. Treat people how you want to be treated. But if you got a big network, you're going to be able to succeed and stay in business for a very long time. But having a network is doing what you say. You can't have a lot of friends, but everybody know that you're shady. Everybody know that you're not punctual, that you don't do the right thing. But if you got a big network, they know that, hey, man, if I call this guy or this girl, I know they're going to do exactly what they say they're going to do, or they're going to fight for you, or whatever the case may be. So having a networking is huge. It's like, so we do a lot of business after hours. We used to before the pandemic. You have business after hours that you go, or business before hours, chamber meetings, getting on boards, different things like that. Just networking and just going out when people have an event. So you want people to support you, but you also have to go out and support other people. And eventually, hopefully, they will support you back. Financing, you need to know a lot about financing because you can't balance a checkbook. Because a lot of times in business, people think they got a lot of money coming in, but they got more money going out than coming in. Just because you see a checking account with X amount of dollars don't mean you necessarily have it. So you got to be able to budget your money and see where it's going, and see where your money is going. Make sure you got your products priced at a certain mark and try to get the best deal that you can so that you can make more money. And business profit is definitely the key to the game. You have to make profit in business to stay. And what I mean by profit is you got what's coming in, you also got what's going out. After that, you have the plus. That's the real money that you make in business. And branding, you got to be able to brand yourself that you can stay relevant and stay in business for a long time. Like I said, I've been doing it for 17 years. So you have to stay relevant for a long time. You have a lot of different things that come and go during this time. So just staying relevant. The last thing, you got to be able to sell. And that's one of my funniest things to do is just sell people. Just sell them on a product. And if you treat people right and you sell a good product, they'll keep coming back for years. I had people that's been installing me that when I was selling clothes out of the truck of my car, they still shop with me to this day. And I'm very grateful for them. Because you can go anywhere to buy your stuff, but why should they buy from you? So you just have to make that person feel and just put out good product and just treat people fair and treat them right and go out your way for them and sell them and take care of yourself and do the right thing. What's some of the things that inspire me? One of the things that inspire me is my family, my kids. Like I said, I was a teen parent, so I definitely want to give my daughter the best opportunity that I possibly could. I know I didn't want to work in the factory all my life. No offense if you do, it's cool. Making money, providing is great, but that's not what I wanted to do with my life. So I wanted to go to school and try to better myself. Today, my daughter work in my store. Actually, three of my kids work in my store with me. So I'm very grateful for that. That's one of the things that inspired me. Is hopefully I can impact generations. Um, that they can believe. They put a goal in your heart that you can keep doing and do whatever it is that you want to do. One of the things, if I could change something that I would did different, I probably would got a better online presence early on in my career. Is one of the things I definitely probably would have changed and not move around in the mall as much as I did. Some of it was out of my control, but we moved around several times, and every time you move, it costs you more money, and you do lose customers um, in that process. You guys have any questions for me? I don't mind answering.
Okay, remember, if you have questions, you can write them in the chat or you can unmute yourself and ask. Either way is fine. All right, Abby, go ahead.
Okay, if I can get the unmute button to work. What was your major in college, and then what would you say is like your biggest obstacle that you had to face in order to get to where you are today?
My major in college was sports management. The reason I took sports management because I didn't know if I want to be like a coach or if I want to be in business, and it gave me the best flexibility to do both. Because when you're in sports management, it's like half business. You take a couple more classes, you'll have a business degree. A couple more classes, you got a teacher degree. So I didn't really know exactly what I want to be, so that's why I picked that. And be smart on what you pick, guys. You never know what you're going to be, but you don't want to waste 3 years or 4 years to find out that's not what you're going to do. So things like this right here is really good for you, so you can start finding out what it is that you like. One of the things I do is I try to write down pros and cons of what I want to do, and I recommend people do that. Because after you write that list down, you might find out like, oh, I didn't even think about it. But think about it before you do it, because college is not cheap, and time you can't get back. Some of the challenges for us was, just I didn't have the experience, so I had to find ways to go out and get experience. So I created a way to get experience and just fell in love with it. But just keep your eye on your goal, or what you want to do. There's some things that I could not control that did present challenges to me, but I knew I had to work harder than everybody else in any situation I went into. And I didn't look at it as a bad thing. I just looked at it as like, okay, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do to change it, but you're not gonna stop me. And that's the attitude that you got to go in and have. But just don't be overconfident, but have confidence and belief in yourself. Even if a door closes, that another one is gonna open up for you. And that's what I.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, McKenna.
So my question is, like, what could you do with your major?
I could have been a sports agent, not the head guy, but I could have worked with athletes to do things like that. But a lot of people that do sports management degree, I did my internship with the Smokies, like going to Pigeon Forge. That's why I did my internship with the baseball team, because I wanted to go into like a professional sports field. Just getting into a front office to hopefully work up to like an NBA team or NFL team, MLB team. But we went there. I did the internship through them, but I found out I didn't want to do that either. It's cool, but you got to have a lot of love for baseball. So if they got a doubleheader, you at the field at 9. You might not get off the field at 12. You got to be right back there at 8 the next day. And it was fun, but I didn't necessarily, for the amount of money they get paid and the amount of work they had, I wasn't necessarily feeling that. But if I couldn't find anything else, I would work my way. And sometimes you just got to start at some place and just eventually work it up till you get that right thing. But sports management is, you know, I mean, it's a wide, like I said, broad field. A lot of people go into teaching with sports management. And a lot of times, if you got a paper showing that you start and finish something, if they really want you, they're gonna find a way to get you. So really, your degree is just showing that you are disciplined, that you can start something and you can finish it. So you can go into any field. I mean, I got guys that I know sports managers, financial advisors now. So you can do a lot of different things.
All right, Catherine.
Okay. Hi. So I just had a quick question. What was the process of starting a business? So like from manufacturing products to like just finding employees? How was that?
You just for me, I just had to find, you know what I mean, I had to find a good supplier. So I knew going back and forth to a flea market wasn't gonna work. I knew they had to find somewhere to get it. So I started calling around. I had a brother that lived in Atlanta, and he was like, man, we got a lot of shops here that can wholesale. So I just went down there and started buying products. So I found someone that can supply my need. And eventually, you can always get it cheaper until you get it directly from that company. So they might sell a New Era hat for $3 more than what you can buy directly from New Era. So I had to eventually work my way up to buying directly from the company that's making it. And that takes time because they don't want to give everybody their contract. So you have to work very hard to show that you can do it. So you kind of got this underground work of, hey, I'm going to set this up, I'm trying to sell stuff, generate income, make it look good. So eventually these people will like me so you can get it at a better rate. Finding employees is definitely a challenge. It's very challenging now. But you just have to go out and just hopefully find young people. My best help has been people that's going to college. They got a vision on it. They got a good head on their shoulder that really want to work hard. They got dreams and goals. I always ask people, okay, what's your 5-year plan? Because you can't tell me where you see yourself in 5 years. I know that you're going to quit this job and just like that. I want people that's committed, focus on a goal. So I have worked with a lot of young people throughout the years. I have people that work for me. I had one guy, he worked with me. First got him, he was like, I think 18, 19. He worked with me for 8 years. Probably one of the best one I ever had. But the average person usually work for us about 3 years for the most. So I just try to make it fun. And I work around their schedule. So if they got another job or if they're going to school, long as they committed to what they're doing and focus, I like having that. It's a trial and error. Because sometimes when you're doing an interview, people can lie to you. It's kind of like what you put on social media. You know what I mean? It's all your best. It's your best life. But nobody can tell you the bad stuff that they do. So you just have to understand, I have to read through that and be like, so I try to ask questions, you know what I mean, to try to make them comfortable so they'll tell me the true them. Once they tell the true them, I can see if I can live with it or I can't. So it's kind of how you do employees.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Peyton.
Sure. What is one piece of advice you would give your younger self?
Probably just, I wouldn't say I'll focus on school more, because I think I did the best that I possibly could. I think once I got injured and knew that football was definitely out of the picture, I fell in love with business and went on to, you know, to do good in that. I would just, you know, just stay humble, hungry, and just don't trust everybody, because everybody's not your friend. All your followers is not necessarily following you because they're rooting for you. Some of them is following you because they want to be you. So just making good decisions and just start saving money early. So I try to get my kids right now is to teaching them, you know what I mean, about Roths and different things, how to invest money and how to just to build up a habit of saving, even if it's $25 a week, you know what I mean, a month, whatever the case may be, just start getting into that habit of saving so that when they're older, they do have a little bit more money so they don't have to go to the bank or go to a friend. Because sometimes we put ourselves in bad situations and we get mad that other people are not helping us when we really could have been helping ourselves. So if I got a friend that want to, you know what I mean, go out and buy all the new shoes. I'm like, man, instead of buying all the new Jordans every single month that come out, I'm like, you better just change the color. I'm like, buy 6 pairs a year. But now save that money. So if you save $1,000 a year, man, when you're 25, you already got money if you put it in the right account. You don't have to go get mad at your parents because they didn't give you money, or mad at your grandparents, or mad at your friend, or mad at the bank. I mean, you should be mad at yourself. So what I would tell my younger self is just, I would have saved money a little bit earlier and just been a little bit smarter for what I have. Obviously, I learned it over time, but I'm 40 now. But if I was 20 and did this, I'd been much further along than I am today.
All right, Abby.
Hey, it's me again. Sorry.
What up, Abby?
You said you got injured playing football, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you hadn't have gotten injured, do you think your life would look completely different than it is now? Or do you think you would have gone down the same path?
I don't know. I really don't know. I try not to focus on things that I can't change. Like I said earlier, you can't unstrap my legs. So whatever's happened has happened. So I had to focus on whatever it is today. I don't try to live in like, man, what if this happened? What if I was born this way? What if I did this? I'm just focusing on, this happened. I can't undo it. But what can I do to fix it to make it look better in the future? So I always try to focus on looking forward and not necessarily looking back. Who knows? Would I've made it? Playing football somewhere else? I don't know. But I knew I had a love for business. And it wasn't necessarily a bad thing because I did get my focus on school even more. And for me, I wouldn't have went to school if I didn't have a scholarship. My parents couldn't afford for me to go to school. So I had to make my own way to go do it. So I had to stay focused and I had to make good grades to keep my scholarship. And so it worked out for me. But if I could tell you anything, focus on the things you can't control. You can't focus on things that you can't control. Just try to be your best you. Whatever has happened. Just keep moving forward.
Thank you again.
You're welcome.
All right, Madison.
How has the COVID-19 affected your business?
Man, I hate the COVID, man. It's killing us, man. It affected my business in a lot of ways because you shut down. I wasn't necessarily against it. It definitely hurt us because we were shut down for probably 7-8 weeks. No money coming in. You got to worry about, you still got bills that's coming in. So that's going to go back to saving money. I did save a little bit to pay to be able to pay my bills and not completely cry my eyeballs out every night. But it has affected the supply demand also. So now companies are 3 months behind. So some of the orders that we placed that were supposed to be coming in the fall has been delayed or canceled. So it's gonna be a trickle down effect. We might not feel it as much now, but we will be feeling it this fall when we can't get products that we normally would be able to get. You have to have products to sell stuff. So it's gonna be it's gonna be a big deal. But I think when we open up last month, people was coming out and buying stuff. So we did sell more last month compared to last year, the same month. So I think people are getting out and wanting to feel stuff. But we've been fortunate. We was able to get some grants and some loans. So I think we came out okay. We just got to stay focused and just try to stay safe and keep everybody safe. But hopefully we're over this because it definitely affected a lot of business because some business went out. That's why it's so important, guys, to support local business. Anybody that's have their own business, go out and support them as much as you can. Even if you're spending $5 with them, that's $5 with somebody in your local community that will definitely appreciate it.
Right, Natalie.
Was your family supportive of you starting your business?
Yes, my family was supportive of me when I started my business. I'm one of these guys, I'm like a dreamer. So I talk a lot. Man, one day I'm gonna do this right here. So they get used to me saying different things. Okay, whatever you want to do, Kendra, whatever you want to do. But when I started it, they seen my passion behind what I was doing, and I believed in myself, so they had to get behind me. But if I went in like, I think I'm gonna try to start this thing now, hopefully it worked. I don't know. People can't get behind you when you don't even know. So they can get behind. My parents got behind me because they seen how much passion and how much belief I had in what I was doing. So if you want people to get behind you, you have to sell them on what you are doing. And I sold them on what I was doing, and they always been there to support me as much as I can. But they didn't give me money or anything, but it gave me support and just, hey, I believe in you. I think you can do it. That type of thing. And my mom always would go out there and tell everybody, if they need any sports stuff, you better buy it from my son. So things like that is definitely support that way. But they didn't give me a loan or money or anything like that. But they definitely was in my corner and definitely believed in what I was doing. When I have an event, they always try their best to come to it and show support. And they're definitely proud of it.
All right, Catherine, I think you had another question.
I did, yeah. So,
I'm sorry, I missed it.
no, you're good. You're good. So you mentioned staying relevant. How exactly do you do that when there's so many competitors and new businesses trying to do the same thing as you? Like, how do you do that?
How do I do that? I just focus on me, and I try to go to all. I try to stay on the pulse. So if I travel around a lot to see what other sports stores are doing across the country. So wherever I go somewhere and it's a sports store, I'm going in to see what they have. We have a convention every year that they'll bring out everybody that want to sell a product. They'll bring you out and bring them out and try to sell you on whatever the new product is. So I try to stay up to date by going to all the different conventions. Anytime it's a new product release, I'm trying to meet with that person to see what we can bring on. And you never know if it's going to sell or not. I may love it, but the customers may hate it. I only want what the customers love. Because if I love it and they hate it, it's no good for me. I can hate it and they love it, and it's definitely a win. So I think just going out and just being a student of whatever industry you're in. So I want to be a student of business. So I want to find out as much as I possibly can what's going on. And if people come in, if customers come in, they're like, hey man, I really want this right here. If I have enough people asking for it, I won't buy it. Now, if 10 people ask for it and I got about 72, I'm not gonna buy it because I really lose the 10 sales and be sitting on the other 62 products in my store. So it's a balancing act. But I just try to listen to what the customer is saying they want to see in the store. And if it makes sense for me and makes sense for them, I'll definitely try to bring it in. And just focusing on what I want to do. I'm running my race. I'm not running everybody else's race. Too many times people get caught up on what other people are doing. I can't get caught up in what Champ's doing, Finish Line, Foot Locker, Lids. I have to be the owner of Fanatics 101. I'm not the owner of all those other stores. So I just try to focus on my goal and my vision and treating people right and trying to bring the best product that I possibly can. Sometimes I can't control it, but I do try to go my way to bring, to listen to what the customer is saying.
Well, thank you so much.
Very welcome.
Okay, I have a question. What was there ever a time, maybe toward the beginning, that you felt like your business wasn't going to survive? And if so, what was the game changer that boosted your business?
It's definitely in business. I'd be lying to you if I said every day is so great. It's gonna be times when, man, you down to your last penny, your last dime. But I always believe in, I have faith in God that He'll always open the door for me. And it's been times when I'm down to the last thing. I'm trying to get a loan, and people are shutting the door in your face. And next thing you know, you'll have somebody else that's come along and give you that opportunity that you've been looking for. It's not easy. It is hard. You will have situations that you cannot control that's going to be unfair. I had a situation last year where I have a line of credit from this bank. I've been banking with this bank for probably 10 years. We renew the loan every single time, every year. And they got brought out by another bank, and the lady was like, hey, well, would you like to term your loan out? Term your loan out means they're going to break, instead of having a line of credit. Line of credit is you can go there, get the money transferred into your account throughout the year. You just pay it back down to zero. You always have it. Term out is they can give you 2 years to pay off whatever that amount is. So you already have you don't want it term if you don't have to have it term. And I was like, yeah. She's like, or I can increase your rate. And everything is about negotiating your rate, how much money you are paying, the interest that you're paying on something. Don't base stuff on payments. Base it on how much money they're going to charge you, the interest that they're going to charge you. And this bank, they kept going back and forth. And I was like, well, I'll take the higher rate. It wasn't that high, but it was a little higher. And she was like, well, eventually she's like, well, we don't really want to do unsecured lines of credit anymore. And unsecured lines of credit are really great because you're not married to it. It's kind of like you're just dating. So you can get out of this relationship anytime you feel like getting out of this relationship. And they just changed the terms of the deal just like that. The guy called back. He was like, hey, we're going to need all. They just took the money out of my account. It was a decent amount of money. And I'm like, what you mean? He's like, well, you didn't answer the question that we asked you, so we just took the money out. So I called one of my other friends and I'm like, hey, man, is this legal? Can they really take money out of my account? And he's like, well, you bank with them, so they legally can take the money out your account. So here I am. They took, it was a decent amount of money out of my account. I'm sitting going like, dude, I was not expecting this at all. And my friend was like, how much money do you need? He was a banker. I was like, well, they asked this right here. He's like, what was the rate they gave you? He gave me a better rate and gave me the money that I needed. So sometimes I think God just worked in crazy ways. So I had so many stories that, man, I was down to next to nothing. And before I know it, somebody would come in and, I don't know, buy 25 hats. I don't know why they're buying 25 hats, but they just bought 25 hats. But that's what helped me be able to make that payment. So you definitely struggle, but I try not let it lead on too much. I just keep it in, because I don't want my family to worry about, hey, can we pay this? Can we pay that? So I just fight myself and just go out. But you definitely have days when you don't know what's going on.
All right, Lori, you have a question.
Question is, what advice would you give somebody that is working locally with a small hometown store or business that is on a need to know once in a while help thing, just part-time when needed? What advice would you give them if they wanted to rise up with the business and possibly own it one day? Because I'm currently in that situation. There's an elderly couple that owns a store, and I'm helping them on a needed basis. And when it's their time to pass on, they're gonna have to leave it to somebody. And I'm the only help they got. So what advice would you give me, if I wanted to take over, which I'm definitely looking into?
First and foremost, you need to look into and see how much is the company making money and how much money do they owe. Because you don't want to, you don't want to get into a situation just because it looks one way, it don't necessarily mean it's that way. The fruit could be really shiny on the outside and be rotten on the inside. So you need to make sure that it's actually something that can make money and generate for it. But if that's something you truly want to do, even on your time off, I would go pick their brain. So how you do this right here? How you do this right here? But you can't do it in the way that they feel threatened. So if somebody come to me and ask me a whole lot of stuff all the time, I'm gonna be like, bro, you kind of nosy. Why you want to know all this stuff? So you got to make sure that you want a really good relationship base with them, or look at it as an apprenticeship. It's kind of like an apprenticeship. Just go in there with that weight and just learn. Because sometimes, in business, you can learn more by working with somebody that's an entrepreneur or somebody in that field than you will ever learn by going to school. So you can learn a lot more because they doing it in real time and in real life. So if that's something that you want to do, just pick their brain and just say, hey, one day I would love to own a business and I want to learn from you guys. And people appreciate it too when you come in here, because especially if they're older, they're gonna smile. It's gonna light them up to be able to pass on something else to somebody else. So I would just ask them, pick their brain, even when you don't need it, just show up there and, hey, what can I do to help? That's gonna go a long way with possibly getting you that business.
All right, Catherine has another question.
Sorry, I keep asking a bunch of questions, but do you think, or would a partner or partners make it easier to run a business?
That's a tough one. I usually joke the only partnership that don't sell, the ownership that don't sell is a partnership. Because you got too many different variables that go into partnerships. Everybody's different. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier on, vision. God gave you the vision. You know what I mean? You can have a partnership. They're gonna have their own vision on what they see it should happen. And if they married, now they got another person that got their own vision into it. So it's hard for you guys to always be on the same plan because no matter what they tell you, when you grow up and you get married, they're gonna have pillow talk. They're not gonna be able to keep it from their spouse that they're not doing this right here. They can, but their spouse gonna know, and it's gonna create other problems. So eventually, that problem is gonna be that partnership that y'all have. Because why you spending so much time with the business? Why you going to do this? Why you doing that? I had a business I started called Appville 101. We did it for probably 6-7 years, and I did it with one of my good friends. We're still friends to this day. And we made good money, but his wife had a problem with some of the, you know what I mean, like, well, why he's getting paid so much money because he's selling most of the products. So we had to deal with how they had it worked out, and eventually I had to buy him out of the deal, but I really wanted him to be a part of it. But partnerships are not the best thing unless you like y'all super tight and y'all been friends forever before they get married, before all that stuff. Then it might could work. I'm big into collabing with people, but that's more like real estate investments, something like that. So if we got a deal and I want to buy 20, I'll put 25% of the deal. I do that, but starting a business with somebody else, I personally wouldn't recommend it from the experience that I have. But sometimes it might work. It might work for some people, but I haven't seen it work too much. Now, if they're my friend, I want them to remain being my friend. But when you get money involved in a situation, it changes the whole dynamic. So you got to be real careful with what you do when you do partnerships. So I personally wouldn't recommend it if it was me.
Thank you again.
You're welcome.
That was a really good question, by the way. Madison, you're up.
I'm gonna ask, as a business owner, how far are you willing to go to keep your doors open, and how much debt do you have to go into to start your business?
When I first started, I started small, and I usually recommend people start small. So you got to roll before you crawl. You got to crawl before you walk. You got to walk before you run. So always start small as you possibly can. So like I said, I started out at trunk in my car with $300. Now it's working my way up to get more stuff. I had credit cards. I don't recommend people doing it. I use credit cards to make purchases on some stuff, but eventually I paid them off and all that good stuff. But if you can get loans and get different things, it's definitely worth it. So you can, well, my business is very seasonal. So you got, I mean, holiday is when you make all your money. Football season is the king in our area in Tennessee. So football is when you make money. All the other season, it's about how much money you don't lose. But during the holiday time, you make all your money, so you have to manage it throughout. So I have to get loans and different things to just manage it. So you do go in to debt to try to grow your business. So I always want to grow my business as much as I can. So in growing your business, you will have to take on some kind of debt. But I recommend you while you're young, pay all your bills one time so that you can get a good credit score, so that you can, if you want to start a business or whatever the case may be, you can go get it on your own or get an apartment that you can do on your own.
Hey, Lucy,
What is your least favorite part about your job?
My least favorite part about my job? I think hiring people, I don't like doing it because when I get to know somebody, I really want to, you know what I mean, if they sell me on themselves, I'm like, that's real. I want to believe the best in everybody. But unfortunately, sometimes it's a lie that people live or they sell you on. So my least favorite part of my job is definitely hiring people. I hate firing people and I hate hiring people. but it's something that you have to have people to work for you. But that's probably one of my least favorite parts. And another thing that you have to do is I'm accountable for everything everybody does. So if I'm out of town, if I'm in California, I'm still held accountable for what whoever is working is doing. So they make me look good or make me look bad. So when they do good things, I did good things, even though I didn't do it. But if they do something bad, I could be somewhere else. I still did that bad thing because people can hold me accountable for what everybody on my staff is doing, even if I don't agree with what they're doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any more questions? Surely you all have something. Okay, I go to your store sometimes, so I'm going to ask, what is the most expensive item that you have ever sold? Because I know that you have some of the autograph stuff up on the walls.
Mm-hmm.
So
the most expensive thing we ever sold was a Michael Jordan signed picture. It was huge. It was like a 3D with actual ball coming out. I wish I kept it for myself, but I didn't. We sold that, and that sold for $3,500. So that's the most expensive thing that we personally sold in the store. And it's funny that you asked that because most people were like, they can't afford to buy that. And some people go there like, man, everything here is high. I'm like, well, we got chapstick. You know what I mean, you got $3. I'm quite sure you can afford that. But I'm like, it's not for everybody. So that one piece that I'm selling up there, I just need to find one person that's gonna fall in love with it. I mean, and maybe that one person is not you. And I go on about it that way. If not, and I try to spin people off what they can afford. Like if I'm going shopping for a car, of course I'm gonna look in the showroom, but I might can't afford a showroom. That's not their fault that they are. Have a car in the showroom. I have to go find. Probably to a used car lot for me and my budget. But I have to go find something that's in my range. But the Jordan piece was the most expensive one that we ever sold. And we probably sold several pieces at the $3,000 mark. But I never know when a customer is gonna come in and they got crazy amount of money to spend. I just treat everybody nice and same. Hopefully they'll buy something, but it's a great day when we find that fish that's willing to eat up the whole store.
I'm sure. I always enjoy looking at them, if nothing else. So at least they're there for me to see.
Get you one day.
Not on this salary. Oh, goodness. All right. Does anyone else have any questions?
If we have to go to our next class, I don't want to be rude, but I didn't know if they would count us late or not.
I'll send out a quick email just to let them know, okay?
Okay. Thank you for speaking. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And there is the website. If you want to check out their website, this is just my plug because it's there. Thank you for speaking to us. We really, really have appreciated it. And I think the questions were really good. So
thank you guys, man. I wish you guys the best with everything that y'all do.
Heather, I have one more question.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
This is for Skylar, but I think Skylar might have already left, but he wants to know how you all know each other. How, like, you and Mr. Brown know each other.
Stacy actually was in charge of this one. So Stacy hooked us up.
I think the kids just really like to know how you all have all of these connections. So
Stacy and Karen have the most. All right. That has been a popular question every time. They want to know how I know people.
Know people, you cool like that.
All right. You all may go on to your next class. And I just want to say thank you again. And I have turned in everything that you've sent to me. And so hopefully we'll be in touch soon.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.